Good morning. How are you this fine feathered day? I'm Lost Little Lamb, and I'm going to tell you a story. This story is written for adults by adults. It is not sexual in nature, but it is not appropriate for children. This is from my Russian fairy tales, collected by Aleksander Afanas'ev and translated by Norbert Guterman. I will add in little embellishments because I'm the one telling the story and I want to. The Wondrous Wonder, the Marvelous Marvel. Long, long ago in the land that would one day be known as Russia, there was a wealthy merchant who traded in rare and precious goods, traveling with his wares every year to foreign lands. One day he fitted out a ship, made ready for his voyage, and said to his wife, "Tell me, Joy, what shall I bring you as a gift from foreign lands?" The merchant's wife answered, "In your house I have all I want, enough of everything. But if you want to gladden my heart, buy me a wondrous wonder, a marvelous marvel." "Very well. If I find one, I shall buy it." The merchant traveled beyond thrice 9 lands to the thrice 10th kingdom, sailed into a great and wealthy port, sold all of his cargo, bought a new one, and loaded his ship. Then he walked through the city and thought, "Where shall I find a wondrous wonder, a marvelous marvel?" He met an old man who asked him, "What are you pondering about that makes you so sad, my good young man?" "How can I help being sad?" answered the merchant. "I am looking for a wondrous wonder, a marvelous marvel, to buy for my wife, but I do not know where to find one." You should have told me that in the first place. Come with me. I have a wondrous wonder, a marvelous marvel. And since you must have it, I will sell it to you." The old man led the merchant to his house and said, "Do you see that goose walking in my yard?" "I do." "Now see what's going to happen to it. Hey, goose, come here." And the goose came into the room. That's a wonder of itself. Have you ever seen a goose actually come to a human? The old man took a roasting pan and again spoke to the goose. "Hey, goose, lie down in the roasting pan." And the goose lay down in the roasting pan. The old man put it in the oven, roasted the goose, took it out, and set it on the table. "Now, merchant," said the old man, "let us sit down and eat. Only do not throw the bones under the table. Instead, gather them all into one pile." So they sat at the table, and between them ate the whole goose. Then the old man took the picked bones, wrapped them in the tablecloth, and threw them on the floor and said, "Hey, goose, get up, shake your wings, and go out into the yard." The goose got up, shook its wings, and went into the yard, as though it had never been in the oven. "Indeed, my host, yours is a wondrous wonder, a marvelous marvel," said the merchant. And he began to bargain with him for the goose, which he finally bought for a high price. Is it high, though, if it's like indefinite food? Then he took the goose with him aboard ship and sailed back to his native land. He returned home, greeted his wife, and gave her the goose, and told her that with this bird she could have a roast every day without spending a penny. "Just roast it, and it will come to life again." Next day the merchant went to his stall in the bazaar, and in his absence the wife's lover came to see her. See, there's a reason why I said this is not for children. She welcomed him with great joy and offered to prepare a goose for him. She leaned out the window and called, "Goose, come here," and the goose came into the room. "Goose, lie down in the roasting pan." But the goose refused. The merchant's wife grew angry and struck it with the roasting pan. As she did so, one end of the pan stuck to the goose, and the other to her. It stuck so fast that she could not, in any way, pull herself from it. "Oh, sweetheart," cried the merchant's wife, "wrench me loose from this roasting pan. That accursed goose must be bewitched. I mean, it's immortal, so yes." The lover grasped the merchant's wife with his 2 hands to wrench her loose from the roasting pan, but he himself stuck to her. The goose ran out into the yard, then into the street, and dragged them both to the bazaar. The clerks saw their plight and rushed forward to separate them, but whoever touched them stuck to them. A crowd gathered to look at this wonder, and the merchant came out of his stall. He saw that something was wrong. Who were all these new friends of his wife's? "Confess everything," he said, "otherwise you will stay stuck together like this forever." There was no way out of it, so the merchant's wife confessed her guilt. Then the merchant pulled them apart, soundly thrashed the lover, and took his wife home and gave her a good hiding too, repeating with each blow, "Here is your wondrous wonder, your marvelous marvel." And that's the end of this story. So, first of all, I gotta say, I didn't remember that ending when I was thinking of this story. I've remembered this story, but not... I remembered the goose that could be cooked over and over again. And I actually, in my games, I have written in a magical object based on this, but not the sticking to each other part. That was something I didn't remember. There's a very similar story with 2 out of the sack, which I remembered that one involving beating people up, but I think we'll do that one another day. I hope you enjoyed my little story, and I hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Bye.